Hey, welcome to Fast Movie. Today we're going to talk about a man who only sleeps for 1 minute, and each time he wakes up, a year passes by. Don't forget to like and subscribe and watch until the end so you fully understand the story. Our movie begins with Teddy going to meet his girlfriend Becca at a party, but he makes a mistake and greets a girl, Leanne, who happened to be wearing the same clothes as her. He apologizes to Leanne for his mistake, and soon they get to know each other. Over time, Teddy eventually breaks up with Becca to get closer to Leanne, and soon proposes to her. However, they end up postponing the wedding until Teddy can finish all his work and be with Leanne at his father's grave to introduce her to him. After some time has passed, Leanne leaves him alone with his father and goes to the car. An old lady approaches and congratulates Teddy for his engagement. The old woman had overheard Teddy while he was talking to his dead father about it and asks about the wedding date. He tells her that they're delaying the wedding for the perfect time, but this lady starts to get annoyed at him. She says that he has the opportunity right now to live his life without any delays and asks him, what would he do if time passed faster only for him? Or what if, when he sleeps, he then wakes up the next year? She tells him that she is going to give him a present for his wedding that she's decided will be in 2 weeks. Teddy starts to get frustrated until Leanne comes back and asks him why hasn't he come back to the car. Before Teddy could respond, the old lady turns to Leanne, congratulates her, and looks back at Teddy. She says, all humans live once. And to wait for her present, Teddy is now forced to go through with wedding, marrying Leanne 2 weeks later. The newlyweds arrive at their house, still under construction, and head inside. They decide to open their wedding gifts and find that there is a tin box in one of them. It says that it should not be opened until after 10 years. So Teddy leaves it and lies down to rest for a bit. Upon waking up, he finds that his house has been completely furnished, and he doesn't understand what happened. He goes to tell his wife that they should celebrate, and Leanne is happy because she thought that he would have forgotten their anniversary. Teddy is now surprised at how Leanne was able to furnish the whole house while he was asleep. He looks at his wife, now realizing that she's pregnant, and makes sure that she is not wearing a pillow. Teddy asks her why her stomach is so swollen, and she tells him that this is normal for a woman who's 5 months pregnant. Confused, he tries to work out how she's pregnant today if they'd only just gotten married a little while before. Leanne tries to tell him that today was indeed their wedding day and that they'd gotten married a year ago, which causes Teddy to believe he might have Alzheimer's because how else could he have forgotten the last year of his life? The strange thing is, he remembers everything that happened before, even their wedding day. Leanne tries to calm him and give him a gift for their anniversary. Teddy asks her if he could rest a little because he feels tired, and she says, go ahead. So once again, he closes his eyes for just a minute. He wakes up from a minor slumber to find that his clothes have changed again, and he feels like more strange things have transpired without him. Teddy hurriedly gets up to look for his wife, unknowingly about to readily crash into her, but luckily avoids a head-on collision at the last moment so as not to bump into his wife's belly. Much to his bewilderment, he finds that Leanne's no longer pregnant and that her swollen stomach is now normal. Teddy says to his wife that he thought she was pregnant, and she tells him, no, not again. One was enough for the first time. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a child crying, and barely now wanders his gaze around the room to discover several photos of Leanne and himself beside the little girl. He's a father now, with a child to raise, and understands that yet again another year he has no recollection of has passed from his life. When he sees his daughter, Teddy refuses to pick her up because he's afraid of carrying children. Leanne tells him that this little girl's name is Tallulah. Teddy appears very upset at first hearing the name. Leanne is taken aback by his behavior. Teddy tries to explain that he believes he's somehow traveling through time, but Leanne is having none of it. She thinks that he's suffering from a nervous breakdown like the one he experienced on their last anniversary, and tells Teddy that this unfortunately seems to happen to him once a year. Looking down at Tallulah, then back at Leanne, he shakily responds, I really don't remember anything from the past 2 years. Leanne attempts to calm him down by giving him a gift for their second anniversary. And when he opens it, he sees a t-shirt with their picture. She asks him if he remembers the day they took this photo, but he says nothing at first, and then guesses that this picture may have been taken the month of their honeymoon perhaps. Laughing, Leanne says to him that they didn't get a chance to go on their honeymoon because of his work. At the sight of Teddy looking unconvinced, Leanne gets upset because she can't fathom that he forgot the happiest day of their lives, the wedding day. Now distraught, she leaves the room with Tallulah, leaving Teddy alone. Teddy calls Sam, a close friend of his, and asks him to set his phone to ring the following year on this exact day. Bring him a gift for his wedding anniversary, but to remember, the most important thing is not to ring the doorbell. He instead instructs Sam to honk his car horn, and he will come down to meet him. Soon, he finishes his call with Sam, noticing an orange in the counter. Having an additional plan, at that moment, he decides to hide the orange in one of the houseplants and slowly sits in comfy chair. Promptly goes to find the orange he had planted. He discovers it's sprouted and, at first glance, appears to be a year old. Teddy, barely hearing a car horn in the distance, now rushes to the front door and peers outside to see it's Sam. He hurries out the house and gets to Sam's car window to say that he urgently needs to tell him something that's happened to him. After hearing what Teddy had to say, Sam doesn't believe him. Sam tries to argue that it's impossible and that what he's describing is similar to the movie where the hero's day gets repeated. Time passes, and it's somewhat of a perfect year. Teddy walks to his wife and tells her that he will improve their lives. Leanne asks him where Tallulah is, and they both end up searching until at last, they find her in a tent that was in her room. Tallulah struggles with calling to her dad because she ends up calling him by her doll's name, then their cat's name, and finally, after 12 tries, she says Papa. This is because he was absent from home due to his workload. Teddy gets upset and he lashes out at Leanne, saying that the doll and the cat should go to work and bring money. She tries to prove her point by saying that this is the reason why they've been visiting a marriage counselor. According to the words of the counselor, when they fight, they should open the letters they wrote and read them out loud to each other. Leanne's letter is full of hopes and things they can work on, unlike Teddy's. Once he realizes that there are things that would potentially hurt Leanne, he tries to switch them with something harmless. But his wife quickly realizes what's going on, takes the letter, and reads it. In the letter, he blames her for their relationship failure because she always runs after her delusional dreams of being a writer. She defends herself by saying that she's at least trying, which is the opposite of him, who works in a job he hates. He quit the job he loved doing the most, which was photography. Despite her being annoyed at Teddy, she still brings him a gift for their third wedding anniversary. His gift is a wallet because money is the thing that he loves the most. And while Teddy is holding a wallet in his hand, he suddenly notices that another year has passed and that the wallet is filled with all his cards, money, and a picture of his wife and daughter. The first thing he does is go look for his wife and daughter at home. He then hears the doorbell sound and Sam, his friend, is coming, according to the annual reminder on his phone. When Teddy tries to call Leanne to check on her, Sam tells him that they have been separated for a while and that she left the house, leaving Teddy alone. Sam asks Teddy to look at the bruise that suddenly appeared on his back, but he doesn't care and knows that his life was ruined in the past year. So he decides to go to Leanne to fix his life. Since he doesn't know the exact address, he calls her and tells her that he remembers their wedding day for the first time, which leaves Leanne extremely happy. She asks him if he brought her a gift, to which he responds that he brought her a basket of fruits. He then invites her to come over and get her gift. What he isn't aware of is the fact that he forgot to end the call and made Leanne extremely angry since she was able to hear him talking to Sam. He asked him for a favor to bring a basket of fruits. As he goes to get a drink, he notices that things have disappeared in front of him and realizes that another year has passed. We see him stumbling upon his now new girlfriend Becca in his house, which he found out about after he had asked her for her reason being there. Right in that moment, someone's knocking at the door, and he quickly realizes that it is Leanne. Becca is asked to come out the back door, and as soon as he greets Leanne, she starts flooding him with apologies, which he also expects in return. Teddy apologizes for everything he had done, despite him not knowing what exactly he is guilty of. Leanne instantly regrets her decision as she notices 2 glasses of whiskey on the table. Her mood shifts and she asks for an official divorce. As she's stepping out of the house, she notices Becca at the door, who overheard the entire conversation and has decided to dump him as well. And yet another year changes in a moment. We find that Becca is with him at home. He tells her that she should not return to him, according to the last conversation that took place between them. She explains to him that he is the one who keeps asking her to come back and forgive him. This notion shocks Teddy, who is now aware that he ruined his life by separating from his wife. He calls Sam to come over to him as soon as possible and tells Becca that she should not have moved in with him. He made a wrong decision because he still loves Leanne and wants to spend his 6th anniversary with her. Becca realizes that she is the one who's always striving for him, and this could be the reason for her failure of the previous marriage. She realizes that she was wrong when she thought that he might love her. She promises him that once he comes back home, he will never see her again. The next scene shows us Teddy asking Sam to take him to Leanne. Teddy notices that Sam has lost some weight and congratulates him, but Sam tells him that this is because of cancer. Teddy is shocked when he learns that his friend's body is destroyed by the malignant disease and finds out that Sam's been dealing with skin cancer for about 6 months. The bruise that was on his neck 2 years ago was actually a beginning stage of skin cancer, and he wishes that he detected it earlier. The only thing that lasted with Teddy was his friendship with Sam, but he fears that he'll lose Sam as well. Once they reach Leanne's house, she asks him if he signed the divorce papers or not, to which he responds that he'll never do that, and that this thing is impossible to happen because he'll never let her be with another man. Leanne does not like the way he's talking to her, so she goes back inside the house. Another year passes, and we see Teddy falling into the swimming pool, which suddenly appears at Leanne's house. A person named Patrick comes out of her house and tells Teddy that they had agreed before about the idea of him suddenly appearing in front of their house. Teddy is once again confused, but quickly realizes that Patrick is Leanne's new boyfriend. Teddy loses control over him and starts fighting Patrick. Leanne tries to calm them down and asks Teddy to stay away from them because she finally feels stable. Her first book succeeded and she got into a new relationship. Teddy is now surprised that Leanne made her dreams come true. He then finds out that he's not wearing his wedding ring anymore. She gives him a backup story of that incident and tells him that this could actually be a sign for them to go through the divorce, to which he agrees. He asks her to go with him by the beach and walk a dog. Soon after that, another year passes. He notices that the dog has grown and that he grew a beard. He continues his lonely walk until he finds a little girl. He asks her where her parents are, to which she responds that her mother is shopping and that this is the day when she goes out with her father, and that he is her father. Teddy discovers that this is his daughter Tallulah, and that she is now an 8-year-old girl. He tells her that the most important thing in life is to make use of every minute and that she must pursue her dream like her mother, no matter what it is. As they enter the house, as they're knocking on the door, no one opens, so he decides to call Sam, but he is unable to find him in his contact list. He assumes the worst. As he's going through his phone gallery, he finds pictures of Sam and him during his treatment. He realizes that his biggest worries are actually true. he visits cemetery and talks to Sam and blames him for leaving him alone. He is so hurt, and Sam was his closest friend who promised that they would live together. He decides that he will wait in front of his grave until his time comes. But the old lady appears in front of him and tells him that the time is not enough for him to do what he wants. She tells him that they met a few years ago, but for him, only minutes ago. He now finally has the explanation to what happened. Time passing by so quickly was her wedding gift. He responds to her saying that he doesn't like it and that it actually destroyed his life. She then gives him a detailed explanation, saying that his life did not pass quickly, but he was able to see how his life could turn out. She got this gift from somebody else when she found out that she should not marry a certain person she thought she should, because it can help other people understand that the people they have in life are very valuable and should not be neglected only because one is interested in work and money. She tells him that all he needs to do is feel the value of his life before it ends. Teddy then thinks of the box that he got as a gift for his wedding, and that this box might be a solution. He notices that the 10th year has passed, and he runs to Leanne's house to find the gift. And while he's looking for the box, he finds out that she broke up with Patrick. Once they both find the wedding gift, they open it and find that inside this box is their wedding ring that was supposed to have been lost at the sea. She doesn't understand how the ring arrived in the box, so Teddy asks her why they aren't together now. Despite all the problems they faced, they love each other. There is nothing worth sacrificing their lives more than their love. They have everything they wish for: home, love, a child, a history, and he doesn't want to sacrifice any other second spent without her. He then asks her to marry him again, to which she agrees. And despite him thinking that his 10 years of life went by in minutes, he soon realizes that that's not the case. He wakes up again on their first wedding day and knows that he was given another chance. A chance to appreciate Leanne, hug her, make sure she's really his priority. He books their honeymoon. It looks like he got a spark of life back, as he is willing to study photography. Leanne is trying to figure out what her book should be about, to which Teddy gives her a brilliant idea. He tells her that the idea of the book should be days and years passing by in minutes. He then tries to call Sam, and when he answers, he cries tears of joy because he is able to hear his voice and have his cancer checked in time. He tells his wife that they will send the tan box to his old friend Becca every single year because she will need it. He runs home and asks Leanne about the name of Tallulah, and she likes the name. She reminds him how happy she is that she has him in his life. And that's where our movie ends. Don't forget to like and turn the notification button to get all the new videos, and make sure you watch till the end so you understand the story.